Hello everyone, my name is ClickFlow and welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Thrive Guide. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty good, and as you can see we're starting off here at the castle base at Nocturne Castle, as per named on a live stream or two ago. And we're doing pretty good. We got this easternmost gate built, so it's identical to that one over there. And we're just starting to wrap this around. We only have a little bit of the way to go for this wall, and then it's just a few of these buildings and stuff inside, and we'll probably do a couple more videos here. But in today's episode, as I'm sure you guys can tell from the thumbnail of the video, we are going to be embarking on a project that I suspect will take a little bit of time and effort, but when it's done, it will be absolutely insane. We are going to be starting and working on a Ghast blaster. I'm super excited about it. Some people might ask what a Ghast blaster is, and basically it's a way to farm blocks that are not otherwise obtained by entities. And by entities I mean like in other farms that we've built, like the iron farm, we are farming iron from iron golems. So when they are killed, they drop iron ingots, and then those are collected. And same thing with other farms like gold from the zombified piglins, and other farms like that. There are certain blocks, however, that are renewable but cannot necessarily be farmed by entities, and some of those are, one of the most famous is wood and concrete. Those blocks are very difficult to get in large quantities because they require growing or conversion and stuff, and they are not dropped by any sort of entity or anything like that. They have to be farmed by hand, except for certain ways of collecting them. So basically you have to craft them or grow them depending on what it is, and then you have to break the block and then collect it up. In Java Edition they have a neat little glitch that is called a TNT duplicator, and basically it's pretty self-explanatory. It duplicates TNT in order to break those types of blocks, and those are very common for tree farms and concrete farms and bookshelf farms and things like that. Unfortunately for us, TNT duplication is not a thing in Bedrock Edition, and even if it is, TNT in Bedrock Edition does not drop 100% of the blocks that it destroys, which is a problem for us because all of the blocks that we put into it, we want to be able to get out of it in that way. There is a loophole though. There is a mechanic in Bedrock Edition that does allow us to get 100% of the blocks that are destroyed, and that is by Ghast fireballs. Yes, that means we are going to have to wrangle up a bunch of Ghasts and then put them into a little mechanism that will direct their fireballs into a blasting chamber, which will then allow us to put blocks like like wood and concrete and other things like that that are not otherwise farmable into that area. The gas will blast them automatically, and then they will be collected. So all we have to do is sit there with a bunch of saplings and bone meal, or all we have to do is sit there and place concrete powder against a water source and things like that. So it makes block farming a lot more automatic. I'm super excited about it, but I'm also kind of scared because it's a beast of a farm. And to show you guys what and how we are going to be building this, I am going to pop over into my creative testing world because I've spent many a months designing that farm to work, and I think I've got it. I think I've got it a setup built for us so that we can try it in our Minecraft world. Alrighty, here she is. As you can see, I'm in a creative test world that is an exact copy of the Thrive Guide world. I just copied the world, and then, well, I copied the world seed And then I turned it to creative so I could do some farm designing. And as you can see, I've been doing a little bit of designing of farms, like this is the gold farm that I designed. There's a few farms off in that direction. But this is my first attempt at creating a ghast blaster. And this one works. It incorporates 3 different ghasts and directing their fireballs into this blasting chamber over here. But I noticed that I could produce blocks a lot faster than I could break them with the ghasts, so I designed this guy, and this is kind of a beast of a contraption. and I'll walk you guys through it in a little bit. I originally got this idea from another YouTuber named ZloyXP. I will link his channel in the description so you guys can go check him out. But basically, the fundamental mechanic here is that we're getting an iron golem, we're getting a snow golem to aggro a ghast by throwing a snowball at it. And then the ghast will then fire the fireball, which will then trip this tripwire, and will push a slime block using a sticky piston, which will redirect the fireball into our blasting chamber over here. So the snowballs from the snow golems will deal absolutely no damage to the ghasts, but they will draw their aggro on the snow golems, which allows us to direct their fire. The snow golems are not inherently attracted to they don't have natural aggro on ghasts, so we do have to incorporate some type of undead mob. I just have a zombie piglin right here, but we could do like just a normal zombie or something on a rail cart, and as we push him along this rail cart, the snow golems will try and shoot a snowball at him. They'll miss because he's going too fast, and then they'll hit the ghast behind it, which will then draw the attention. So it's kind of a complex design, but it ends up working pretty well. This is the on-off switch here. If you press this, you can see it raises all of those blocks so that the ghasts can now see the snow golems. But if we flip that switch again, it will close. It will break the line of sight, and therefore the ghasts will no longer have aggro against the snow golems. So we can show how this works a little bit. If we raise up everybody so that the line of sight is available, and then we run this guy down the line, then you can see they start aggroing all of the ghasts.
Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Which is perfect. They aggro them just like that. Sometimes there's a glitch when there's a lot of things happening in the world that the ghasts don't automatically fire the fireballs, so you have to save and quit and then relog into the world, and then they will be fireballing again. So if we relog back into that, you can see perfect, just like that, and they all fire simultaneously. So 6 ghast fireballs all going into the same blasting chamber. Super cool. I am super excited about this farm, and it's taken me a long time to design this guy. Up here I just have a simple concrete converter using a piston feed tape. You place the concrete powder there, it'll turn into concrete using the water source, and then it'll be fed along a piston tape, which will then feed it down into the blasting chamber there. So kind of a complex design. Hopefully we'll be able to get through all of it in a couple of episodes. I don't know if we'll be able to get it all in one episode. What I'm thinking is we're going to have to do it in several stages, where we're going to have to build up all of the infrastructure, which is going to be all the redstone and all the scary part. And then we're going to have to build a big chamber around it, because of course in survival the ghasts will be aggroed on the player, so we are going to have to be careful about that. And then once it's completely enclosed, then we will go capture a bunch of ghasts and then bring them to the overworld, so that then we can put them in these little configuration cells. So it is going to be quite the process, but I'm going to take a few screenshots of this here so I can build it up in the Thrive Guide world, and then we will see how far we can get in this episode. Alright folks, we are back in the Thrive Guide world again. As you can see, the castle is over there. And I have everything I think we're going to need set up here. This of course is that bay that I was talking a little bit about. Like maybe we could build like a port and like a couple of ships and stuff for aesthetic purposes. And I figure building the gas blaster out here would be a good option because we're going to have to put a fairly large and spacious building around it, so we can make it kind of look like a nice factory, like an industrial type factory here. And I think that'll work good, and there's a lot of open space here we can use, which is going to be perfect for us. So I've got a couple of screenshots pulled up that I'll probably be referencing as we go through this build. I'm going to grab a couple of stacks of stone. I'll convert most of that to stone bricks so that we can build with that. I have some scaffolding here as well so that we can tower up with. And then I've got a bunch of redstone equipment. Now we're going to need some string, some of these tripwire hooks. We're going to need some sticky pistons, a couple of levers. I think only one, we'll see, a couple of repeaters, some redstone torches. We'll need a bunch of redstone dust. Need some powered rail and some normal rail, and we'll actually also need some fence posts, but we'll go that far and just see how things go. So I'm going to build over here. I'm going to come up into the air a little bit. We want it to be kind of off the ground, but I guess not too high, but we want to be able to make it so that the snow golems don't think that they can pathfind to one of the blocks underneath them, so they don't try and move. So keeping them stationary will be for our best interest. So I'm going to put a platform right here that's just this, just a 3x3 little platform, and I'm going to put a powered rail in the center right here. Now this is going to be where our first ghast will sit. He'll be sitting right here and then firing fireballs this way. So we're going to want to build the snow golem over in that direction. Okay, from here we are going to want to come out 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on this 6th block is where we're going to have our little minecart rail. So on the 6th block here is where we're going to have our minecart rail thing, and we actually are going to want to put that 1 block depressed below that, so we can pop out those blocks right there. It is kind of going to be a little tricky to get all the blocks. Perfect, just like that. So that's where our little rail is going to go. It's going to go across like that, and so the snow golems will try and hit the zombie as he goes across this rail, and they'll miss and hit that ghast back there. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, now that I've looked a little closer, we're actually going to want these guys 1 block above the... So that's a little awkward. So it's going to be like this. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Perfect. Yeah, so we're gonna have the ghast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks away, the little ghast platform, 5 blocks, and then on the 6th block we'll have this this rail 1 block elevated from the ghast platform. Okay, one of the next things we're going to want to do is come out on this block right here that is closer to our gas blaster and come up 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th block we're going to place a couple of blocks like this, and then couple of blocks like that. And that is perfect, just like that. Just like that. Now this is going to be, why is there 2 blocks? Okay, so the next thing we are going to want to build up is the mechanism that will redirect the Ghast fireballs after we have our rail line set up and our Ghast platform set up. So we're going to come out from this one 3 blocks up. So this is our this is 1 block, 2, 3, 4, and then on a 5th block we're going to place a couple of blocks just like that. Now Ghasts are a little bit weird. They actually fire their fireball out of like their forehead level. That doesn't actually come out of their mouth like we would think. At least on Bedrock Edition. I'm not sure how it is on Java Edition. But we want to place those blocks on the 5th block above, just like we showed, and then we're going to leave a 3 block gap in between that. And in here, we're going to place a tripwire hook right there, and then a string connecting them, just like that. So now if anything gets in there, it will activate the tripwire, which will send a redstone signal to activate a piston for us. Now that's perfect. The Ghast will fire that, hit that redstone signal, hit that tripwire, sorry, and then that will send a redstone signal to the piston, which will redirect the fireballs. Now we want to go and build that piston system really quick. So we're just going to tower up here really quick. We're going to want to build 1 block right there on the side of that, and then I'm just going to use that as a placeholder and then place a block right here. We do want to remove this block here. We don't want any extra blocks lying around. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And then we're going to take some redstone and string it across the top of this. And then on this last one, we are going to want a repeater set to 1 tick. Perfect, just like that. The next thing we are going to want is to have a sticky piston. I'm just going to use those as placeholder blocks right now. We're going to have a sticky piston facing towards us right here, and then have a slime block facing that. And of course, that was one of the things that I did forget. But as you can see, if we activate this, it does activate that piston. And that's exactly what we want. This has just the perfect amount of timing so that when the fireball activates that tripwire, there's just enough delay so that when the fireball reaches that sticky piston, it will fire and then redirect the fireball off in that direction. So that's exactly what we want. Let me go ahead and grab some slime blocks, and I'll be right back so that we can finish off this little segment. Alrighty, so now I'm back here. We can throw that sticky piston right there. Perfect. And so it should look something a little like this, where we have the tripwire hook with redstone running over the top of it, which when the tripwire is triggered, it will fire this sticky piston off in that direction. And that is the direction where we're going to be building our blasting chamber. Perfect. The next little bit we want to build now is our chamber, which will be holding our snow golems. And we'll want to build that a little bit off in this direction. Okay, I'm going to pillar up really quick right here so we can get on top of that slime block right there. Oops. Went a little too high there. So I'm going to place a block right there, and then we're going to go over 1 block, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the 6th block right here, this is where we're going to have our holding cell, except we're going to do that 2 blocks down. So if we grab our scaffolding here, we can come out a couple of extra blocks. and we're going to want to go 2 blocks down, and I believe that is the spot where we want it. Let me double check that. I think that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6. Yep. So that is the spot where we want our our snow golems to be at. That is perfect. So when the snow golems will be perfectly in line with the ghast there, and we'll have a little shield barrier on both sides of this rail as it goes along. So the snow golem will only have visual contact with the zombie as it goes through this segment of rail right here. The snow golem will try and hit it with a snowball. It'll miss, hit the ghast. The ghast will then fire the fireball, which will come right along this block, and then the sticky piston will then push it along into that direction. So that's basically all that there is to this design. The rest of it is just repeating this over and over and over, and then creating the rail which will go along it, the shields which will block the line of sight, and then creating the on-off switch which will block the line of sight of the snow golems to the ghasts. One of the things we do need to remember, though, is we do want to have a fence that goes all the way around our snow golems, just like this. So we're going to want to have it not touching the block at all, because of course we're trying to conserve the number of blocks that we have to use. But we do want to enclose the snow golems like that. So we're going to want to do that and then remove this one right here. So we have a little isolated block where the snow golems will be going that is surrounded by fence, so that the snow golems of course cannot move once they've been spawned in. So this is the bare bones, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this unit 6 blocks in that direction, and then 2 blocks in that direction 3 times, and then we raise the entire thing up by 1 block, and then do it 6 blocks in that direction, 1 block in that direction, kind of how we saw it previously. And I will do that in the form of a time lapse so you guys can see how things are going, and I will bring you guys back in when we are ready to start the next step. Alright folks, and when you are finished, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. And that took a little bit of doing and a little bit of figuring, but I think we have pretty much all of the redstone components in here that we need. The next thing that I want to work on is building this rail that will aggro all of the snow golems, so that we can get the ghasts aggroed properly. And we don't want to have any ghasts aggroed diagonally, because if they fireball one of these snow golems diagonally, it's very likely they'll hit some of our redstone components, which could be catastrophic. So I am gonna go through, go check my screenshots a little bit, and then I'll bring you guys back in when I'm ready to string this thing all together. I think I am about ready. Let me see if I can't get over to that first rail that we have set up there. I'm gonna... Perfect, just like that. So we started and did these in little 3x1 sections. So we're gonna come out on this. We're gonna start coming out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 blocks. Sorry, not the 5th block. Sorry. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and then this is going to come pretty much all the way back to rest behind this ghast right here. So right here we're going to place a spot like that, and then we're going to string up the rails. We want to make sure that we have some redstone torches to power the rails. So this, of course, is going to be turned on by a lever. And we can string all this together when we need to, all the redstone into one single control unit. But this is just to get it, the bare bones all built. And then this is all going to be a redstone powered rail. And then we're going to take a redstone torch and plop it. Apparently we're not going to use a redstone torch. Let me go grab some more levers, and then we can use that to power these guys. So now we are back on here. We're going to flip a lever, and that's going to be turned on permanently, so this is always on. Then we are going to string this guy up, of course. Slap a lever down there. That should turn everything on. And then for the rest of this, we want to come out so we're going to want to turn this guy right underneath this block. So that's where it's going to turn. So we're going to come over 2 blocks just like that, and then connect it up the rest of the way. So we're going to be placing rail just like that, putting a lever there, of course, to power that one, and then stringing this one up that way. So that is pretty much exactly how we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and string up the rest of these redstone lines, and then once that rail line is all built up and done and dusted, then I will bring you guys back and we can put in the vision shielding here. We're going to need some shielding so that the snow golems can't see us. And then once we have that shielding installed, then the last thing is to do is to install an on-off system. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will bring you guys right back in. Alright, and as you can see, we have this redstone line built. Haha, perfect. So this is just where Mr. Zombie is going to sit while he is going back and forth. Let's turn that guy off so it'll come back to rest. You can see it'll just come right back down and then come to a rest right here. So that is exactly what we want. Perfect. Let me go take a nap really quick, and then we can start installing all of these shields. Alright, so this first shield is we're going to want to have it come off of this rail, just like that. And it's going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So basically, right as soon as this 3-block gap is where the snow golem will see it. And I'm gonna build this 3 blocks tall. It's not necessary for it to be 3 blocks tall. Technically, it's only necessary for it to be 2 blocks tall. But this is Bedrock Edition, or should I say Bug Rock Edition. I don't want it to be too I don't want to risk anything while building this. And basically, for the rule of thumb, we are just going to have exposed these 3 blocks so that the golems can see in those 3 blocks. So this right here, we're going to come over here, and on this spot we're going to see the block. There we go. And so of course it's just these 3 blocks. We're going to come out another 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect, just like that. And then I'm going to join this up just like this. Awesome. Now that is going to be perfect. One of the other things we do have to take into consideration is we want all of these spots that don't have rail or redstone on them to be lit up, because this will be in an enclosed building. Oof. And all those spots that are not lit up, that don't have redstone or anything on them, will be spawnable locations for monsters. Ha! I landed on that. Nailed it. So we'll want to make sure those are well lit. So again, like I said, it's not too difficult or anything. All we need is just those 3 blocks that we originally built the rail up on to be visible. That 3-block window will be just enough for the snow golems to snowball the right ghast, but not be snowballing the other ghasts. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the rest of those shielding, and then we can put up the on-off system, and then the blasting chamber, of course. Okay folks, we are almost there. We have the shields all placed out, as you can see, and we have the torches spammed everywhere, so hopefully we don't have any spawns or anything. And I'm starting over here on the 3rd snow golem spot in. And this is where we're going to be placing our on-off system. So I'm going to place 1 block that is 2 blocks above the snow golem, so just enough space for the snow golem to exist. Of course, we are going to have to remove this block here to spawn in the snow golem, but it won't be too hard of a thing. We'll basically just pop this block off, spawn the snow golem, and then put the block back on with the redstone on top. But I hope you still have your sticky pistons and redstone with you, because we're just going to be lining this line with redstone, and then I'm going to hop down here and place a block that's just like that. Actually, I want to place one underneath that. So I'm going to break that guy, stand right there, and then look at that piece of redstone right there. We should place it, and boom, we have a sticky piston facing downward, and then we place a block right here. So now I can get rid of that block there, and let me sleep before I get too many monsters spawning on me. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, now as you can see, if we power this this sticky piston with a lever or something like that, then we will see, where are my levers? Right there, right in front of me. So we can put a lever right here and power this, and that piston will push down and block the line of sight from the golem, from the snow golem, to the ghast, which is perfect. That will basically stop the aggro between the two, and the ghast will cease firing fireballs at the snow golem. So that's just what we want. So this will be basically how we turn our system off. Whenever we want to turn the system on, we deactivate all of that, and then we send our zombie down the line, and that will activate the blasting sequence. So it's really not too complicated of a system. I'm going to go ahead and install these sticky pistons facing downwards for all 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And I'm going to actually hold off on doing the last one. I'll bring you guys in for doing that one, and I'll explain why when we get there. Alright folks, we have we're back now, and we've set up this on-off system on all 5 of these. So if we run over here, I've just hooked them all up with repeaters so it can boost the signal nice and easy. You run over here and turn that off. You can see that all of those are raised, and therefore the farm is now active. And we turn that on, and now they're all lowered, so the farm is now deactivated. Now this one is a bit more tricky. This is going to require a little bit more effort for us on our part, and that is because if we try to place a block on this block right here or a block above, it will be in the direct line of sight of one of the fireballs coming here, and it will break the piston and everything. So we're going to have to do a kind of retracting piston system. So I'm going to place 2 pistons just like that, and then we're going to get a block, and I'm going to place a temporary couple of blocks. Sorry, this is kind of hard to place a couple of blocks like that. And then we should be able to place a piston facing downwards, not like that. Not like that either. Here we go, let's try this. Place a block there. And then place a piston facing downwards, just like that. Perfect. Now we can take that, a couple of stone bricks, just like this, and we can place it like that. So now, hold on, let me sleep the night through so I'm not being interrupted by zombies. And then we will finish this off. I think I might have built it 1 block too far forward. No, that's right. That's just how I want it. So we want it to be that block just sitting above the block of the snow golem. Right there. Oh, dang it. I can never do any of these scaffolding parkour. It just makes the building this a lot more tedious and difficult. Okay. And then now we can take and remove this block there. This block on top of this, we do want to leave, because this block will be covering the snow golem when this block is extended. When this block is extended, there will, because the piston is a transparent block, if it starts to rain, the snow golem will actually take damage. So we do want this block to remain above here, so it can stay above the snow golem's head. Now we also want to, so when we're wiring this up, we want to remove that piece and put a repeater on 1 tick. So that is perfect, just like that. And then for, we're going to get a couple more of these blocks. And then we want to have a number of blocks coming out just like this, and connecting up with that, with the original redstone signal here. We can connect that up just like this, and so now that's extended and works just as intended. Pun intended. The reason why we put that repeater there is because when we depower this, we need this piston to depower first so it can retract that block, and then both of those pistons to depower 1 tick later to retract both the piston and the block underneath it. So that is perfect. Let's see if that works. Awesome. I think that worked. Okay, we might need to leave it on a 2-tick delay. Hold on, let me try that again. So that works, and then, yeah, perfect. So just like that. We want, so it does need to be on a 2-tick delay. Awesome. Well, that is perfect. I think that's the entire on-off system built. Just like that. So now this farm right now is currently active. All of the things are up. Anyway, I think we're about there. The last piece of equipment that this thing needs before we end this episode is, of course, the blasting chamber. The blasting chamber will be an area where all of the fireballs are directed, and will hopefully be the only area in the entire farm where there will be open blocks to the system. There will be 6 access points in which they will be the fireballs will be able to come out and then blast against a surface. Alright folks, I've got it figured out. So we want to come on this first slime block part right here and just start coming out from this location. Of course I fall right there. Anyway, I'll just go like this. We want to come out with this, just placing some temporary blocks just like this, and go all the way until we get to our area where we want to house the blasting area. I think right here is going to be great. So we're going to come across now 1, 2, and this block should line up with there. Perfect. 1, 2. This block should line up with that over there. Perfect. And so now we can go and place in this little setup just like this, and then underneath it the exact same way. So as you can see, the fireballs will go through these locations right here and the ones right below them. So I'm gonna go build that up really quick. But that is everything. Oh man, it has been a little bit of a ride. I'm sorry if this has been way too technical and if it's been too confusing and things like that. I hope it hasn't been too bad. But I hope you guys have liked this look into building a Ghast blaster. Of course, we're not quite finished with this. We need to build an enclosure completely around this, this kind of like an industrial building. And then we also need to get our snow golems and of course our ghasts in here. The ghast wrangling, I think, is going to be the most difficult part. But if you enjoyed this video, why don't you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for some more content. My name has been ClickFlow, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.